The Mysterious Sevenfold Tablet 8. This is the Mysterious Sevenfold Tablet from the 22nd Ether of the Vision and the Voice. There comes first into the stone the mysterious table of 49 squares 9. It is surrounded by an innumerable company of angels. These angels are of all kinds, some brilliant and flashing as gods, down to elemental creatures. The light comes and goes on the tablet, and now it is steady, and I perceive that each letter of the tablet is composed of 49 other letters, in a language which looks like that of Honorius, but when I would read, the letter that I look at becomes indistinct at once. And all the table burns with intolerable light. There has been no such light in any of the others until now, and now the table draws me back into itself. I am no more. The names come from the center of the sigillum Dei myth. And whoso beholdeth this table with this rapture, is light. The true word for light hath 7 letters. They are the same as Ararita, transmuted. Rarita the essence of the ode girt by suns tending inwardly upon it. Raya 10 equals 41,211 equals Tib equals B equals S. For ultimately Kether and soul are not light. Light is a duplex vibration, energized by them and is, therefore, of their messenger, Mercury. Alostriel's notebook has a different version from York's. Energized by them and is, middle dot, of their messenger Mercury. Copyist's note. Reading the table in 7 rows across, we get, Sa'im, Vivat in Kelik he lives in heaven Ptzkase, Dias Noster our God. Haydn, Dux Noster our Commander Daimo. Hillist this is. Imeg, Lux in eternum light forever Eloivn, Finis est it is the end. Irla, Vera est hac tabula this table is true. The table of Psalm 9 see the Equinox, I-7, page 231. This table contains the names of the angels of the 7 planetary spheres, Shabethil, Tzedquil, Madaimil, Shamashiel, Megahop, Kokabil, and Lavaniel. This 7-fold arrangement is of the sigil of A. Middle dot. A. Middle dot. Babylon, see Book of Lies, Cap. 49. And she is the mother of Haruraha. 10 palindrome 11 this reduces to 7 in this Enokian system of 7 seconds. The names derived from this table, as indicated by the colored lines are, Sabethil, Saturn, Yaps, he who is first in works. Zedekiel, Jupiter, QDJ, he who is first in attainment. Perhaps using this angel to develop the H.G. The effort along Enokian or angelic lines should be the next work for the aspirant. Other angels could be for works of the adept. Madaimil, Mars, Midmom, he who is first in expressing God. Madim brought information on the Enokian system to D and Kelly. This would be a way of expressing God. The 6 others should be able to bring new gnosis according to their names. Semeliel, Soul, SMS, he who is first in speed Nogakal, Venus, HGVN, he who is first in spirit Colorado, Mercury, KPVP, he who is first in ecstasy Lavinail, Luna, HNVL, he who is first in the secret wisdom. These are essentially English transliterations of the Hebrew names of the planets with the suffix L appended to indicate the divine and turn them into angelic names, as shown above. The 7 names between the outer heptagon and the heptagram are names of God, not known to the angels. Neither can they be spoken nor read of man. They are derived from this tablet by reading the rows from left to right, and are placed in clockwise sequence around the sigil. In the angel's view, the derivation shown here is the reverse of the truth. Rather than the planetary angels producing these god names, these names bring forth 7 angels, the 7 angels and governors in the heavens next to us. Thus the sigil, from its outer ring to its center, represents a descent of power from God into the world. Between these god names and the planetary archangels in the sigil stand 4 additional ranks of beings. Even though they are outside the archangels, and therefore presumably superior to them, it seems that they are in some way the children of the archangels. Every letter of the angels' names bringeth forth 7 daughters. Every daughter bringeth forth her daughter, which is 7. Every daughter her daughter bringeth forth a son. Every son in himself is 7. Every son has his son, and his son is 7. The names in these groups are derived from the tablet by taking the letters diagonally as shown in the diagrams below. Green, the daughters of light. El, Mi, Esi, Iena, Akel, Asdabn, Simkal. 7 women in green with hair pinned back and each with a blue tablet on her forehead appeared in Kelly's shoestone. These are connected with the Hyades 12-star cluster in Taurus, 13 representing the vernal equinox, the point where the astrological ages begin. Gold, the sons of light, who appear to Kelly, carrying a ball of a different planetary essence as follows. I, gold. E, silver. Iler, copper. Mil, tin. He, oil, iron. Biga, juggling quicksilver. Spamco, lead. Their names are found inside the apex of the septagon. They rule over the 7 ensigns of creation and are formative angels. Each is ascribed a medal by 7 young men in white, named on a round gold tablet on their chest, the Sons of Light. Their names are on the lines of the inner septagon. 12 The Hyades is a cluster or red giant stars that form a V shape and are the head of Taurus the bull. The word equals Hyades means a congregation of the judge or ruler. Taurus is called the station of Horus, the coming, the wayfaring. Crowley calls this the equals throne of the Hierophant. The red giant Aldebaran means the leader is the watcher star of the vernal equinox in this constellation. 13 The age of Taurus hold the ancient truth of the Sphinx. A deeper understanding of the Hyades, Pleiades and Little Dipper needs to be researched. The Little Dipper holds the supergiant, Polaris, the North Star and location of the North Celestial Pole, called also Ursa Minor and once a part of the constellation Draco. It contains the stars called the Hesperides, equals the daughters of Atlas. Red the daughters of the daughters. The names of the 7 little wenches found on outer hexagon that surrounds the pentagram. Each was seen wearing white silk robes as Sons of Light also wore, and they had ivory square tablets on their chest, bearing their names. S, Abe, Eth, Ized, Eke, Madami, Sameli. In classical mythology, the daughters of light are associated with the Pleiades. 14 The daughters of Atlas and Gaia. These are attributed to particular stars in the asterism, but one is thought to be lost. Blue the sons of the suns, assigned to the days of the week, rule over the heptarchical kings, seen by Kelly wearing purple from head to toe, with hanging sleeves. Green triangles are on their breasts, bearing their names and shown on the inner septagon that surround the pentagram. El Friday and Wednesday. Avenue Sunday. Liba Tuesday. Rockle Thursday. Hagon El Saturday. Ilamis Monday. In classical mythology, the sons of light are referred to the stars of the Little Dipper. Finally, the names of the 7 planetary archangels are placed inside the innermost heptagon. The angel of Saturn, Sabathil, surrounds the pentagram. The angel of Luna, Livinael, is wholly inside the central pentagon, surrounding the cross of Earth. The remaining names are applied to the pentagram in Kabbalistic order, beginning with the angel of Jupiter, Zedekiel, at the top point and going clockwise. Their table, the mysterious 7-fold tablet, is mentioned in the 8th, 15th and 16th ethers, as well as being clarified in the 22nd ether. It is connected with the overthrowing of the old ether, which then must be the correction of the lie that had become the Christian mystery. 14 This is Orion's belt, and translated as equals congregation of the judge or ruler, Pleiades. The constellation of Orion is also called the equals resting place of Osiris, and is Dionysus to the Greeks. The meaning of the word equals Orion is equals impious giant, a seeming reference to the Nephilim. The heptagon stellar. After the instructions for the sigillum Deameth were delivered, the angelic entities that Dee and Kelly were working with presented this great copper star and presented the servants of Prince Hagonil. These are the sons of men and their sons, the sons of men being the same as the sons of light. And if they are human, we as humans are gods. It is we who mated with the daughters of men. We are the Nephilim and the Anunnaki, our forebears. The evidence for connecting Enochian magic with the Book of Enoch and the magic tradition connected with this is as clear as can be. The sons of light, named on the star, are the Anunnaki and Nephilim of the Book of Genesis, out of which the Kabbalah originates, and the pseudepigraphical book is a development of this historical remnant of a controversially wise and ancient race of beings that probably inhabited this planet. Hagonil, then being in command of these servants, is a great angel of this community of preter-human intelligences that probably form the lodge of the Great White Brotherhood, being the secret chiefs. The sons of light that were presented by the Enochian entity that Dee and Kelly were in communication with appeared as 7 youths, wearing white garments. Every one of them carried a metal ball in his hand, and all of them wore round tablets of gold on their breasts that bore the letters of their names. The sons of the suns also came in the forms of small boys, but wearing purple gowns. They had green triangular tablets on their breasts on which were written the letters of their names. The sigils of the sons of light appear with their planetary correspondences in Agrippa's work. Finally, there seem to be at least 2 other hierarchies on the SDA that are unexplained. We may speculate that they are yet a higher force in structure than the sons of light. For example, equals El, the plural of Elohim stands for an angel in Canaanite lore who mated with a mortal woman and begot Sher and Shalim. Having a strong connection with the sons of light, we may then speculate on the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. Also, there is equals I, a divine being, and equals E, that Agrippa tells us is a just God comparing himself with man. These may be sons of light existing on a higher plane. But of the princes named on the heptagon stellar, it seems the work of evocation begins. The heptagon stellar is derived from the naming of the planetary kings and princes when deciphering tabula collecta, from which the tabula angelorum bonorum also originates. Tabula collecta. The 7 tables from which the names of the 49 good angels are derived. The arrangement of the 7 tables. Note that each angel's name forms an outward spiral in this arrangement. The circle surrounding the tables was described as very bright, with nothing in it. 30 letters in the 2nd and 3rd tables below are missing in the originals, due to damage. The versions shown are reconstructed from information contained elsewhere in the records, and probably are not identical to the originals in all respects. Identically numbered squares in each of these tablets form the names of the tabula bonorum, kings, princes and ministers. The first table. Letters in this table give wit and wisdom. At the ending of the night, at the limits of light, Thoth stood before the unborn ones of time. Then was formulated the universe, the birth of wisdom and intelligence. The second table. Letters in this table are powerful in the exaltation of princes 15. Then came the gods thereof, the eons of the boreless beyond, the establishment of a hierarchy. 15 power over the princes to do your bidding. The third table. Letters in this table give power in counseling and in influencing the nobility. Then there was the voice vibrated, the power of speech. The fourth table. Letters from this table give power in works of trade 16, or in things relating to water. Then there was the name declared, which distinguishes all things. 16 a shrewd business sense. The fifth table. Letters from this table give power over things of earth. At the threshold of the entrance, between the universe and the infinite, hidden knowledge. The sixth table. Letter from this table give power over things of the air 17. 17 the seasons, weather. In the sign of the Enterer stood Thoth, as before him the eons were proclaimed, spirits of the air, time itself. The seventh table. Letters from this table give power over things of fire, 18. In breath he did vibrate them, in symbols he did record them, the wisdom of the written word. 18 wisdom. Tabula angelorum bonorum. There are 7x7 tables, which together form a larger set of tables called the tabula collecta. These were given to D. and Kelly on April 29, 1582 by the archangels Michael and Uriel. Contained within them are 49 7-letter names of ministers, kings and princes of God. From this one set of tables, 2 further tables were made. One simply contains the names of the 49 ministers. The other lays these names in a circular fashion split into 7 sections, with the planetary associations of the kings, the tabula angelorum bonorum shown above. The cipher for these tables are as follows. Each table has as overall number that represents the position of the letter within the word, that is, the first letter is in table 1, the second in table 2, etc. Each square of each table contains a letter and a number. The central table, consisting of only B's, is numbered consecutively across the table, and the other 6 tables are numbered randomly. To form the names from this table, each letter associated with the same number is read in the table's numeric sequence, that is, the first name is made by taking table 1 number 1, table 2 number 1, table 3 number 1, etc. The names are then written out in order and split into 7 sections of 7 names. Each section has a planetary association, and the first name of each section is the king of that section. These names and associations are laid out in this table formed by D. The first angel in each of the 7 sectors is counted as a king, and rules the planet and day of the week indicated by the circled planetary glyphs. The first of these kings, Balagan, also rules the entire heptarchic system under his alias of Karmara. Each king has under him a prince, who is the second angel in the preceding sector. For example, Balagan's prince is Paganal from the sector of Luna. The remaining angels in the tablet have no special rank, and no details as to their functions and uses are given in the diaries. They have, however, been referred to as governors. The king and prince rule a specific day of the week, and have a set of 42 ministers that, in groups of 7, rule a 4-hour section of that day. The name of the principal minister in each group is derived from the tabula bonorum according to a method that varies for each king. The names of the remaining ministers are derived from the principal minister's name by rotating the letters. In the case of Balagan Karmara, the ministers' names are formed entirely from the names of the 7 heptarchic kings. The kings' names are listed in the sequence they appear in the tabula bonorum. The ministers' names are found by reading down the columns, omitting the first column. Note that these same names appear in the second version of the 12 by 7 table, and thus also appear on the rim of the Holy Table of Practice. For King Benapsen, the ministers' names are only partially derived from the tabula bonarum. The 6 colored lines show the portion of each name that is found in the table. The remaining letters of the names do not appear to be derivable from the table by any consistent method. The second 12 by 7 table. The lettering of the Holy Table. ALIGONOGPOPOGELEFESBELEFISPOLRISDONSPORLGESLUMZGENOL. This, the second version of the 12 by 7 table, is used to form the letters found on the Holy Table of Practice. The 12 letters that form the heart at its center are extracted and rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise to form the 3 by 4 tablet in the center of the Holy Table. The letters around the edge of the Holy Table are found by reading the letters down the columns of this table from the right side to the left. The letters are applied to the Holy Table, 21 to a side, beginning at the upper right corner and going counterclockwise after placing B on all 4 corners of the Holy Table. This table also delivers the names of the kings and princes for the talismans that work with the ensigns in the sequence in which they appear in the tabulum bonarum. This is also an important correction that D and Kelly produced with this system. The ensigns of creation contain many B's is particularly of interest, giving them a relation with the Angelorum Bonorum in that all of the Angelorum Bonorum names begin with the letter B. B is the predominant character in the Tabula Collecta, which includes the Tabula Angelorum Bonorum, and B is on the corners of the Holy Table of Practice. We can then deduce that this must be an important and holy letter in the Enochian system. It is interesting that the Hebrew Kabbalah asserts that all of creation is established on Beth B, or the letter B, the Holy Table of Practice. The Holy Table of Practice uses a blue border for the letters around the edges and in the center, with the letter themselves being red. The 4 corners are filled in with gold underneath the letter. If you are painting the ensigns of creation onto the table, they should also be in gold lettering, with the hexagram being gold, along with the middle letters, though the squares they're painted in should be blue for both. Using the unicursal hexagram presents a problem here, and so, it seems that red lettering for the middle letters is also important. Also, a tablet of union should be constructed, made of copper and formed from the names of the kings, as shown below. The size of the table itself should be 36 inches square, made of wood and consecrated with holy oil. It should be painted white, with the 7 ensign of creation placed or painted around clockwise, following the natural order of the planets. Around the edge is a border containing the Enochian characters. Each side contains 21 letters, not counting the corners, the numbers of letters on the Enochian alphabet. Notice how an Enochian B is located at each corner. Covering the Holy Table of Practice, a white linen cloth hanging down almost to the floor. The sigillum ameth is next, and it goes on top of the white linen cloth, covering this an iridescent red and green silk cloth with tassels at the corners. Finally, over the iridescent cloth goes the scrying stone in its golden frame directly upon the sigillum ameth. On the floor, beneath the table, a red silk carpet 36 inches square it's laid. 4 smaller versions of the sigillum ameth are under the table legs. This table should be used for the evocation or invocation of the kings and prince of the Heptarchia, as well as operations with the elemental tablets without the cloth covering, as the ensigns of creation are an integral part of this magic. The lettering at the center of the table may then also be covered over by a tablet of union for work with the elemental tablets. These letters are derived from the holy names for each quadrant on the black cross, found on the Great Table shown in the section on the elemental tablets. The tablet of union is as shown here, EXARPHKOMANANTIABITOM. The Holy Table, from Merrick Casaubon's True and Faithful Relation, is the first and incorrect version of the table. The correct version, given to D and Kelly by the Archangel Raphael, is shown here. Note, the letters around the circumference and in the central grid are derived from the names of the Heptarchic kings and princes, and incorporated into the second version of the 12 by 7 table, shown below. These letters are 84 in number, and with the B in each corner, 88. Some have said that the first work in Enochian magic may be to scry the table itself. It has been described as a descent into blackness and fear, but then suddenly you're in the table and in the solar current. Reading and arriving at an understanding of the lettering is a key to this effort. Scrying and using the magic mirror also without covering the table with the proscribed letters around the table are found on the next page, shown with their translation. This can be followed by the evocation of kings and princes, using the ensigns. But what the table really seems to call to is the understanding of the language. To be able to read the table would be the right start. The layman being the consolidation of the 12x7 table would be the talisman to scry, and as well, the central table onto holy table would also be good to scry, followed by the sigillum dei myth. Next follows the work with the elemental tablets and the placing of the tablet of union on the holy table of practice. And when all these practices have completed the path of spiritual power and wisdom, it becomes time to put the cloth over the table and begin the screening of the others. This is the perfection of the work. But before that perfection is approachable, first, one has to gain all the benefits of a healthy body and psyche as well as the securing of one's personal circumstances. This is what the work of the Bonarim and elemental angels is all about. The magic connects to life on all levels. On the lower, it takes care of the very practical issues that need to be resolved before the magic can be perfected. And so it's not that every angel and possible evocation needs to be performed, but those deemed necessary from personal self-assessment. This is at the root of any purification, body, mind and soul, before one can approach the divine. The screening of the early ethers and starting with the 30th, moving through the spiritual into the divine realm, brings with it a crystallization of the effort already successfully completed. Then new regions of the heavens open up in the etheric realm and the evolution of consciousness becomes the focus of the path unto Magister Templi. It seems that the shoe stone or magical mirror is the primary method of evoking the Enokian entities to visible appearance. Other traditional methods of using incense and the triangle of art seem to be contraindicated. A successful operation means that an Enokian entity is brought to visible apparition in the magic mirror and dialogue with the angel ensues. The lettering of the holy table. In the second version of the 12x7 tablet shown below, take the letters from top of the right-hand column and place them on the top edge of the holy table of practice, just in from the upper right corner, and place them, moving counterclockwise across the top and around the edge of the table. It is unclear as to why the second table was necessary, but as the reverse of the first version, which reads the letters top to bottom and left to right, going from right to left is consistent with the orientation of the Hebrew alphabet, though through much of the work, the letters move from left to right as with all Western alphabets. An interesting recursion for the lettering around the edges of the holy table of practice is that they can be grouped to form an occult message from the Enokian entities. The synchronicity with the meaning that can be derived by forming words from the letters in the middle of the holy table of practice provide the key to understanding its message, as the 4 sets of 3 letters can be found in the lettering on its edges. In the character of the sentences, and in order to determine these sentences, the revelation of the 7 heavens, Hekaloth, and the beings that inhabit these heavens are the story we must find. That probably is not of the others, which are regions of consciousness, unlike the Hekaloth, which are the realms of the 7 principal gods that stand before the sun god. Indeed, this sun god and the moon goddess and the other 6 planets are of course, the physical manifestations of these large layers of consciousness. And we may even divide our solar system, the great starry Gnosis, into 2 companies, with Jupiter being yet a second sun, per my article on Buckelett's Revelation, Gnostic Cycles. And so rather than dealing with the universe of the microcosm, the 30 others, we are dealing here with the universe of the macrocosm. A hint of this is found in what we have already translated, particularly in the translations of several numbers that immediately tie in with the translation of Liber Loagith. It is that story, that mythos that is becoming emergent in the work of the perimeter that is so very vitalizing. Making the work a preter-human contact is meant for our point in history and not the time of Dee and Kelly. They are also the key to the understanding of the 30 others, the calls of which provide the key for understanding the Enokian language. But most important is how they presaged the Thelemic prophecy that Crowley would produce, centuries later. The Table of 12. The central table reads 4 lines of 3 letters, Oit, this is, that, God. Mlu minus equals is moving, completed, ending. LML minus equals first changing 1, God, movement, Workawa minus equals archetypal man, equals makes man, equals making man. This can be worked into the following statement. This is the completed work that God changes into man. God, that is not. And it's important that we say that is instead of who is, that we don't confuse God with the anthropomorphized being of the superstitious religions, the black religions, and that is on a par with this is, and we can then say, God is. Now, God translates itself or transforms itself into a manifested state at the archetypal level, where it becomes fully manifest, until its completion as humanity. As man, though also, it is all of nature and everything is alive, but we as man are the complete and full expression of God, his movement being to transform, which hinges into the universal constant, change equals stability. The archetypal man is a hologram per Liber VVVVV of the GCL, the hologram being generated by the planet Earth Babylon. Remember, the work of ENOKIAM is the manifestation of Babylon. This will probably have further implications as we complete our translation of the border letters of the Holy Table. And it is from the archetype that the actual manifested human race comes into being. This is the work of God, or is it the work of Babylon? Ultimately, it is humanity that is God's reach into dense matter from the not. The aim, the more primordial being can only go so far from the not, into the archetypal triad, which is why praying to God is an absurdity. We can only affect our will through the inertia of the universe. Reading these letters as 3 columns of 4 letters. Amlo, initiation, visitation, N. Initiate, visit, V. Ilmo, angel or essence of the sun, heart of the sun. Tel minus equals it ends with the goddess, L, equals completed by the goddess or equals ending with the goddess 19. This can be worked into the following statement. The initiation unto the heart of the sun is fulfilled by the goddess. Connecting as 2 sentences, this is the completed work that God changes into man. We see the journey back to the heart of the sun, which in spiritual terms is the spirit of the sun, the one true God, and so we have the portrayal of the complete cycle, and we have the introduction of the Rosicrucian initiation, which is inaugurated by the goddess. In this case, she is L, which connects the Holy Table to the Sta, but we can then deduce that L is Babylon, earth, as the heart of the earth. The core is also a fiery force, and that force is the impregnating seed of the sun and in the womb of Babylon. It also shows that the L suffix used by the Hebrews has a feminine quality, lost to the later Jewish generation. Assuming this is so, this translation functions as a restoration of the Bayun God. The central table reads 4 lines of 3 letters. 70 plus 9 plus 300 equals 379. Wait, this is, that, God 80 plus 20 plus 100 equals 200. Mu equals is moving, completed. Ending 20 plus 80 plus 20 equals 120. LML equals first changing 1, God. Movement. Work 70 plus 7 equals 147. Nuo equals archetypal man, equals makes man, equals making man. 19. First and most important, this last word, Tal, is the one word that directly connects the Sta with the Holy Table of Practice, which is an important validation for this translation. Reading these letters as 3 columns of 4 letters. 70 plus 80 plus 20 plus 70 equals 240. Amlo initiation, visitation, N. Initiate, visit, V. 9 plus 20 plus 80 plus 70 equals 179. Ilmo angel or essence of the sun, heart of the sun. 300 plus 100 plus 20 plus 7 equals 427. Tel equals it ends with the goddess, L, equals completed by the goddess or equals ending with the goddess 20. Comments on the gematria of the table of 12. Total value of 4 rows of 3 letters, 846, which reduces to 18. Total value of 3 columns of 4 letters, 846, which reduces to 18. Total value of the table of 12, 1692, which reduces to 18. The balance and numeration of this table is a mathematical potency that shows the table of 12 to be constructed in perfect symmetry. Both the columns and rows have their equivalents in the number 846, as well as the number 846 reducing to 18, and as does the total value of the words of the perimeter letters of the Holy Table of Practice. The 88 letters of the perimeter. So the first word is our key, and it is Tio occurring in the center of the letters going along the left side of the table. It is read from right to left producing the word oit. The whole Enokian dictionary gives the definition, this is. If there is no meaning found, we then refer to the letters in their use as prefixes in other Enokian words in order to determine a translation. Note oit is defined in the dictionary as the divine name of 5 letters. Well, ignoring the attribution of earth of air or even incorporating it as the lowest of the airy plane and the lowest plane for spiritual contact, and then attributing I am that I am to this, the reduction of 2 twos to oit might then be said to be this is, as the Schulers have defined it. In another light, this could be said to be the 3-lettered divine name, translated simply as God. The second word in the Schulers translation is akao. Schuler defines this as the place. This word is not existent in the dictionary outside of the Schulers' own contribution, which implies that they made up this definition. How they arrived at this definition is not clear. The Schulers skipped a letter when convenient. They used a letter twice, when convenient. They added and or inverted letters when convenient. This inconsistency is simply sloppy and lazy work. The only exception is the scrambled lettering for Babylon, which is actually remarkable. However, we managed to break this word down into several other Enokian words and root words, which has led to a very different meaning. 21st and most important, this last word, Tal, is the one word that directly connects the still with the holy table of practice, which is an important validation for this translation. Read from right to left is the root of the Enokian word Eol, which is defined as make. The letter A is defined as with, while Ga is defined as 31. Ga is also the root of the Enokian word Ga, defined as spirits in the dictionary. Notice that we are using pre-existing words to produce this meaning, and not just making up an Enokian word, which seems to the problem with the Schuller's work. Of course, these meanings may have been derived from their own evocation of the Enokian entities, but there are no records of this. And considering the fact that their books are notoriously riddled with errors, even if there were magical records of their work, we still couldn't trust them. It is interesting to note the number 31 as the key to Liber Alabama Villages. In Frater Abraxas' screams, the angels displayed a large get and a letter G. They then revealed to him that G' was the key to it all, and the records of these scryings appear the end of the present work. Most importantly, and what adds significance to this, is the fact that Frater Abraxas was not aware of the definition of Enokian words at the time, which adds to the authenticity of this operation. For E and O, E is the angel associated with Sol, and Philia Lucis, or daughter of light, as O is 5. We could extrapolate and call this the fifth angel, Gebura, or angel of severity. The Ga translates as both 31, key to Alabama, and the name of angel who appeared to D and Kelly. Also literally last breath of the living, and can be connected to Galtog on the Sigillum Dei Meth, connecting the still with the holy table of practice directly and in accordance with the law of the Abia and the Wanga. Galtog is formed from the first series of letters and numbers surrounding the sta. If we divide it into 4 parts, we get 4 words of power, Ga, La, Th, and Og. Since it is on the outer rim, it could possibly be said to function as a tetragrammaton. With this in mind, we have a direct connection between Thelema and Enokana. Next, we find 2 words here. The first, Eo, equals make, making, and the second, An, equals son of light. Eo gives us the root for words translated into larger phrases connected with equals make, equals mad, and equals making. The next word is Ru. Schuller originally transliterated the equals R' as an equals M', which renders his translation of the word completely false, since all copies of the table show a clear Enokian letter Don for the English equals R', which resembles the Enokian letter Tal, which has the phonetic sound of equals M'. The Enokian letter equals R' does not denote any word, yet if one uses Patricia Schaefer's letter essences, we get equals the root of movement, move, motion, suggesting an active tense verb. In the Laycock Enokian Dictionary, hardcover 1978f, the next letters, Lu, translate as nor. Lu then gives us equals not moving, or literally equals moving not, or even equals notting or making into not, non-existence, destroying. Bar, which has no meaning by itself, but is the root for several words for angels and demons. From this, we can coin the term demon, which is interesting as these are often considered parts of the self, especially in Jungian psychology, and the word bar is a term in Hebrew that means son or son of. A part of the self externalized and individuated. As perhaps any evocation,